Good afternoon. My name is Paulette Mahurin, and I'm your host today at Our Ventura TV. And I'm absolutely thrilled to be here with the head of the Canine Adoption Rescue League, also known as Carl. Mary Saputo has been with this organization for years and saved thousands and thousands of dogs. Something very near and dear to my heart. So I want to welcome you, Mary. I'm thrilled to have you. And since you've been a part of the history of this organization for years, can you just give us a little bit of the backstory?
Oh, I'm happy to do that, and I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much. We're deeply appreciative of any opportunity to showcase our organization.
Great.
Carl really started out in 1996, and at that time they were called the Humane League. Over time, there was a decision made that we would change the name to the Canine Adoption and Rescue League, or Carl, as we're popularly known in the community, and that was done. We originally started out as a dog and cat rescue, actually, and after about 2 years in 1998, the kitty segment split off and became Greyfoot Cat Rescue, which was
very
nice. Yeah. Absolutely. And I might add that Carl's mission statement is that we advocate for animal welfare and seek to end the needless deaths of companion animals through adoption, rescue, education, and outreach. At this point in our history, we've placed about 3,500 dogs in loving, secure homes. We've helped another 6,500 through referrals, perhaps to breed-specific organizations or just specialists that they need. Over the week, we have hundreds of telephone calls.
Yeah.
And they're all answered by volunteers. We're an all-volunteer organization, with the exception of one soul who keeps us crossing our T's and dotting our I's, and she is a part-time person.
Yeah. Now, if somebody wanted to volunteer for you, how would they get a hold of you, and what are you looking for? What kind of volunteer groups do you have helping?
Well, we have a huge continuum of things that someone might be interested in. I mean, not everyone wants to walk dogs, but there are administrative tasks, there's technology issues, there's laundry. There's always laundry if you have dogs.
Sure.
And we also have a boarding kennel sanctuary. And so that is a huge opportunity for volunteers. So basically what we do, the third Saturday of the month, there is an orientation, and that's where we give a little synopsis of the organization and then just present to people the opportunities that they might have to be volunteers, and then they choose what seems to suit them.
Great, that's great. Now, it's astonishing that you've adopted out so many dogs with an all-volunteer organization, and I know you have the biggest event in Ventura County that you just had this last week called the Pooch Parade, which is a tribute to so many dogs that you've rescued, and they come parading around, and you're just incredible. And I see that you brought one of your dogs with us, who we tried to get up on a chair to show to the audience, but Benny's a little bit stage fright or shy, so maybe you could tell us a little bit about Benny, who's off camera right now.
Well, I will tell you about Benny, because Benny came with us today, but he's an elderly dog at this point, and those bones are a little cricky. So when I suggested up into the chair, he said, that's not going to fly. But
No.
Let me tell you Benny's story.
Yes.
When we first started out in 1996, we like to try and place our dogs in foster homes. That's not always possible because you never have enough foster homes. And so some of them were placed in public boarding kennels, and we came across this little tiny dog that had just been dumped in the kennel. And I'd go on the weekends to pick up our dogs for our adoption events, and he would just run the fence and bark and carry on. And so I took to taking him a pig's ear every weekend, and eventually, tamed him down. And then in 2001, we had an extraordinarily generous woman bequest us a sizable chunk of money. And because of that, we were able to purchase a boarding kennel, and it's a combination kennel, really. It's open to the public for boarding out in Santa Paula, but it's also a sanctuary, because once we take a dog into our program, they're ours for life. Well, we had Mr. Benny running and barking and eating pig's ears, and when it came time to move to our new boarding kennel sanctuary, and that was in 2005, we said we can't leave Benny behind. And so he came with us. And again, he's ours for life. In Benny's lifetime, he's gone into a home. I think he was there for probably a couple of years. And it seems to me that the person that took him either became very ill or died. And so he was returned to us. But Benny's the star of the kennel. He enjoys his life. You know, he's taken out for various little jaunts from time to time. Today was a good example, and everybody stops by his kennel. And we really have an extremely supportive volunteer program of walkers out in that kennel. Most of our kennel dogs are walked 2 to 3 times a week.
That's great. That's great.
And they come into our adoption center on the weekends at least once. And they really have, they have their own pack. They can watch what happens on. And we have some pretty exciting things happening at our kennel right now.
Great. Now, you mentioned your adoption center. Where is it located so people can drop in and see some of the dogs and hopefully bring them home?
That's true. Our adoption center is in the Ventura Pet Barn on the corner of Lang and Main. It's 1 block towards Santa Barbara from the Pacific View Mall. We're there on the weekends every Saturday and Sunday. We also do some satellite adoptions too. We show at PetSmart in Ventura, but we also do Port Hueneme and Moore Park and 1000 Westlake Village.
Okay, I mean, but any of your adoption events would be posted on your website.
That's correct.
And how can we contact you? What is your website information?
Our website is carlvc.org.
So that's carlvc.org, and it tells what the events are, adoption times, how to do volunteer work, and all the other extraneous things that you're involved in. I mean, you also, I noticed on your website that you are networked with other rescue groups and you do honorary sponsoring to help profile and show other dogs all over.
And most important on our website is a picture of every one of our dogs in our Project Second Chance. And there's a little bio on them, you know, how old they are and what we think their mix is. And so it's great. We do network, because that's what rescue is about. For me, a dog adopted is a dog adopted. I'd like it to be one of our dogs, but you know something? If it's a dog from some other rescue group, I'm more than happy to see them go to a forever home.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so there is a picture of Benny on your website?
There is a picture
of Benny. All right. So anybody that's watching today that didn't get a chance to see Benny, who's lying on the floor right now staying cool,
that's right,
they can see his picture. Now, you know, we're in a precarious time period now where people are struggling economically and dogs are being discarded at a higher pace. Do you have any words of advice that you could say, being a major rescue person, for people that are struggling with this right now, how they may continue to be with their pet, or things that they can do to just hang in there?
Well, it's extraordinarily difficult because people have lost their homes. I can tell you that we're filled to capacity. There's probably not a rescue in this country that isn't impacted. And so if people can keep their dogs in their homes but bring them into our adoption center, if we take them into the program, that's an option to be able to, you know, replace the dog in a home. But it's difficult. It's simply not possible to rescue every dog out there.
Yeah, that's the heartache.
It isn't going to happen.
Yeah, that's the heartache, and it's a sad state of event, but at least we do what we can with the dogs that we have. But if somebody did have a dog that they had in their house, they could maybe network with another rescue group or perhaps your group and show them for adoption before they tried to submit it to a kill shelter.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, we network with all the breed-specific rescues, and actually with every other rescue that is out there.
Right, right.
So we have lots of referrals that we can give. We can't always promise that it's going to be a solution to the problem.
Right, exactly. But I think it would be important that for anybody that had a hardship situation to jump on it right away and not wait till the last minute, because things are full up, as you mentioned, and we don't have the answers to everything. But with enough time, maybe that individual dog could be helped.
Yes, it's true. It's not helpful if you call and say, Saturday, 2 days from now, I have to have a home for my dog.
Exactly.
That's not going to happen.
Exactly.
But,
now,
you know, yeah, a little bit of anticipation goes a long way.
Exactly. I think that's very, very important. Now, I can recall through the years reading in the newspaper of all these incredible things that have happened with dogs being thrown off bridges onto the freeway, and there is a Canine Adoption Rescue League coming to the rescue. And so as we start to wind down with this show, I would love to hear about how some of your heroic actions have saved lives, because everybody loves a great hero story.
Well, they do, and we have way too many to talk about today, but we have had many dogs where we've picked up off the freeway. One we picked up and she delivered her puppies, you know, within a day or so. She had just been left on a box. But in terms of our determination to take care of our dogs, we had one particular dog that was in a foster home, and he basically dismantled the home. The people liked him. They moved to the East Coast, and they said, if we get our own home, we would like this dog. And so 2 years we kept them, and all of a sudden we got a telephone call from Maine. Yes, they had their own home, and they still wanted the dog. So we flew the dog and a volunteer to New York. Then she rented a car and drove him to Maine, and he was reunited with his foster family. So we really try and go over the top to place our dogs in loving, secure homes.
Well, bless your heart. That is phenomenal. I mean, to be able to keep a pet under that kind of a situation with their family is just, that's so heartwarming. Well, we're just about out of time for now, so to tell the audience how we can contact you again, or any closing words that you'd like to relay to the audience, we'd love to hear that.
Well, certainly you can meet Carl at carlvc.org, and this will tell you all about what we're about, and we hope that you'll drop by one of our adoption events and at our adoption center. And again, I thank you so much for having us and allowing us to talk about those creatures that leave paw prints on our hearts.
Well, it's my pleasure, and bless your sweetheart and all the other volunteers who help save lives and fill our hearts with these incredible, unconditionally giving, loving animals who do nothing but wag their tails and bring joy into our lives. And let's hear it for more dogs in forever homes and available places for you to pull in more dogs to help. So our time is up today, and I want to thank Mary for being here. My name is Paulette Mahurin. Until we meet again, keep watching Our Ventura TV. Thank you.